In Fort Worth, Texas, a graceful chapel rises on the crest of a gentle hill, an architectural jewel born from a generous vision. This is the story of the Marty Leonard Community Chapel. A vision on a hill. The Marty Leonard Chapel is a non-denominational sanctuary built to serve children and families at the Lena Pope Home. The chapel stands as a testament to one woman's dream, Marty Leonard, a Fort Worth businesswoman and philanthropist who devoted decades to the Lena Pope organization. In gratitude for Marty's selfless service, her friends and family set out in the late 1980s to honor her with a chapel bearing her name. On Marty's 50th birthday, they surprised her with an architectural rendering of the chapel and seed funding for its construction, turning her long-held dream into a plan. Over 300 donors rallied to the cause throughout the 1980s, and by 1990, their efforts bore fruit as the Marty Leonard Chapel opened its doors. From dream to reality. Ground was broken in the spring of 1989 on the Lena Pope campus, and the chapel structure began to take shape. Photographs from its construction show a delicate lattice of beams rising skyward, foreshadowing the magnificent space to come. The chapel was envisioned first and foremost as a place of hope and reflection for the youth and families served by Lena Pope. Yet from the beginning, it also captured the community's imagination as a site for weddings, music, and gatherings, a sacred space open to all. Marty Leonard herself insisted it be called a community chapel, reflecting its inclusive purpose. As she later remarked, nothing made her prouder than seeing the chapel constantly in use for weddings, funerals, church services, musical concerts, and other occasions, the very reason she had wanted it built. Architecture as nature's instrument. Designing the Marty Leonard Chapel fell to Fay Jones, a legendary architect and former apprentice of Frank Lloyd Wright. Jones was renowned for his organic designs, chapels and homes that seemed to spring from their natural surroundings, appearing to rise out and become a part of the forest. In fact, the Marty Leonard Chapel would be the first of Jones's remarkable wood and glass chapels built outside his home state of Arkansas, bringing his unique vision to Fort Worth. Years earlier, I had visited Jones's masterpiece Thorn Crown Chapel in the woods of Arkansas, and that ethereal encounter left me in awe. Now, standing before the Marty Leonard Chapel, I recognize a kindred spirit in its design. Both chapels share a skeletal framework of wood, expansive glass, and a reverence for nature's light, but Marty Leonard Chapel also forges its own identity. Instead of Thorncrown's all-wood construction, Jones here integrates brick structural walls at the chapel's front and rear, anchoring the building firmly to its Texas soil. And whereas Thorncrown's floor plan is a simple rectangle, the Marty Leonard Chapel is laid out in a Latin cross form with a nave and transepts that quietly echo the layout of great Gothic cathedrals. These differences lend the Marty Leonard Chapel a more solid, grounded presence. Some say slightly less ethereal than Thorncrown, yet the same craftsmanship and awe-inspiring detail pervade both structures. Walking up to the chapel, one is struck by its prow-like front, a pointed glass facade that thrusts upward like the bow of a ship sailing into the sky. The building rests on a base of brick, and from this sturdy plinth, a forest of wooden columns and beams soars upward. Notably, Jones selected Philippine mahogany for the chapel's framework, a departure from the redwood used in his earlier projects, giving the interior wood a rich, warm hue. Stepping inside, you first pass through a low, humble entranceway with a ceiling just 7 feet high. This was a deliberate nod to Frank Lloyd Wright's design philosophy. By compressing the height at the threshold, the architect heightens the drama of what comes next. A few steps more, and the space blossoms into a lofty nave bathed in daylight. Overhead, a gabled vault of interlocking wooden beams stretches high above, resembling a canopy of trees. Jones described this chapel as an instrument for nature's music, tuned so that light and shadows play through it in an ever-changing melody from dawn to dusk. In the Marty Leonard Chapel, sunlight filters through majestic panes of glass along the walls and ceiling, cascading in soft beams that dance among the rafters and pews. Layer upon layer of woodwork catches the light, creating a moving tapestry of shadow, an almost operatic play of daylight that is nothing short of mesmerizing. The atmosphere inside is serene and lifted. One can't help feeling a hush of reverence as the architecture itself seems to reach toward the heavens. Jones intended for this space to inspire its visitors profoundly, and by all accounts he succeeded. The interior inspires the very goal of Jones's design, that all who enter will think their loftiest and best thoughts within its walls. Indeed, standing in the sanctuary, gazing up at the rhythmic pattern of beams and the skylight running along the ridge, you feel an invitation to reflect and dream. The chapel's design seamlessly marries Gothic influences in its soaring vertical lines and cruciform layout with the organic ethos of its natural materials. Even though the chapel was built on a site that originally had almost no trees, Jones effectively created a forest indoors. The wooden columns branching overhead mimic trees, and the ever-present greenery visible through the glass makes nature a constant companion in the space. In this way, the architecture itself becomes part of the landscape, fulfilling Jones's philosophy of buildings that belong to their place. An enduring legacy. Since its dedication in 1990, the Marty Leonard Chapel has not only realized Marty's dream, it has far exceeded it. Generations of couples have spoken their vows under its vaults of wood and light, and countless seekers of peace have found solace in its pews. The chapel's acoustics are noted to be angelic, making it a beloved venue for musical performances and choir concerts. As a community treasure, it remains busy with life, hosting weddings, memorials, baptisms, and quiet moments of prayer throughout the year. Yet amid this activity, the chapel never loses its aura of tranquility. Each event feels graced by the special atmosphere Jones crafted. Marty Leonard's wish was that the chapel would continually serve and uplift her community, and that wish is clearly being fulfilled every day. All proceeds from events support the Lena Pope Foundation's mission, so the chapel literally and figuratively continues to give back to the children and families in Fort Worth. The architectural brilliance of the Marty Leonard Chapel has stood the test of time. In 2016, a quarter century after it opened, the chapel received the AIA Fort Worth 25-Year Award, an honor recognizing designs of enduring significance. Local architects have even ranked it among the most beloved buildings in the city, at one point naming it second only to Louis Kahn's iconic Kimball Art Museum in a list of Fort Worth's favorites. Such accolades affirm what visitors feel in their hearts upon entering the space. This chapel is truly something special. Marty Leonard herself called the award a validation of design genius, proud that her chapel stands tall as an iconic structure in Fort Worth. For me, finally standing here with my camera capturing it all, this experience is profoundly moving. I am reminded of that first visit I made to Thorncrown Chapel years ago and how it opened my eyes to the poetic power of architecture. Now in the Marty Leonard Chapel, I feel that wonder all over again, but with the added depth of knowing the human story behind these walls. This chapel was born from a community's love and one woman's hope, and it was shaped by an architect's masterful hand and heart. As golden light pours in and music echoes softly in the rafters, the Marty Leonard Chapel tells its own story, one of faith in community, unity with nature, and the transcendent beauty of design. In this sacred space on a hill in Fort Worth, light and architecture merge to lift the spirit, truly an instrument for nature's music, playing a hymn of inspiration for all who step inside. As our journey through the Marty Leonard Chapel comes to a close, I invite you to stay for the song, Light of the Chapel, written as a tribute to this space and all it represents. Thank you for joining me in telling this story. If this film moved you, please share it and follow the page. Your support helps keep this passion alive and makes it possible to bring more of these stories to light.
Beneath the beams of wood and sky, a quiet dream began to rise. Hands that build and hearts that prayed left a gift that time can't fade. From shadows into morning light, the walls of hope are shining bright. This is the light of the chapel, a song of stone, of glass, of grace, echoes of love we are lifted.